If you can't beat him, join him. That's reportedly the strategy being employed by the Ted Cruz and John Kasich campaigns ahead of Indiana's May 3rd primary, as the two Republican rivals will join forces in a sense, dividing efforts, with Cruz zeroing in on Indiana and Kasich focusing on Oregon and New Mexico.
After discussions with the Kasich campaign, we made a decision about allocating resources. We decided to allocate our time and energy and resources on the state of Indiana. Governor Kasich decided to allocate his resources elsewhere.
That's an abrupt change of course from last month when Cruz was calling on Kasich to drop out.
If John Kasich were not in the race, we would get to 1237. It is possible. Kasich's role is as a spoiler. If he pulls just enough votes to let Trump win states with a plurality, I have no good explanation. Maybe he's auditioning to be Donald Trump's vice president.
That was in March, when Cruz thought he could still achieve the 1237 magic delegate number. After his delegate shutout in New York, Cruz was mathematically eliminated from securing the nomination ahead of the convention. Now, Cruz has changed his tune. It seems he doesn't believe Kasich is trying to be Trump's VP. Rather, the Ohio governor is potentially an ally to the Cruz camp. The Kasich campaign spun the partnership this way, citing Indiana's winner-take-all provision and the need to prevent Trump from reaching the 1237 magic number. The statement concludes that the Kasich campaign will indeed pull out of Indiana, noting, quote, shift our campaign's resources west and give the Cruz campaign a clear path in Indiana. But Kasich, still trying to secure votes in Pennsylvania, didn't want to admit defeat as he was visibly short with reporters in Philadelphia.
I don't see this as any big deal, other than the fact that I'm not going to spend resources in Indiana. He's not going to spend them in other places. So what? What's the big deal?
The big deal is that the alliance has reportedly been in the works for weeks. Pennsylvania, where Kasich made those comments, plays an interesting role in all of this. Trump was there last week campaigning. Where were Kasich and Cruz? In Florida, at the RNC meeting. Reports suggest this is where the Cruz-Kasich alliance agreement came to fruition after the idea was allegedly first floated after Kasich won Ohio in March. With Trump's path to securing the GOP nomination gaining steam, Cruz and Kasich followed Mitt Romney's advice.
Given the current delegate selection process, that means that I'd vote for Marco Rubio in Florida and for John Kasich in Ohio and for Ted Cruz or whichever one of the other two contenders has the best chance of beating Mr. Trump in a given state.
With the agreement reached, Cruz's team correctly predicted the media would devour the alliance with coverage. As such, Alice Stewart, Cruz's communications director, purportedly sent this email, which was obtained by a Wall Street Journal reporter. The email instructs surrogates how to correctly phrase news of the agreement, urging surrogates not to stray from talking points. Those talking points include saying the campaigns never tell people who to vote for.
No, we're not. I'm not going to go tell anybody how to vote.
Well, this is about winning the votes of the Hoosier state, giving Indiana the opportunity to choose.
The email also tells surrogates to stress that Trump can't beat Hillary.
If Donald Trump is the nominee, Hillary Clinton wins. Hillary beats Donald Trump by double digits.
It appears Cruz is following that advice, but the email also offers a guide to what Trump is predicted to say, including calling the arrangement rigged. Trump did that, taking to Twitter to say just that. The email also goes on to suggest Trump will point to his overwhelming lead among delegates as the reason why he should win the nomination. The problem for Cruz is that voters agree with Trump on that point. A poll from NBC shows about 2/3 of all voters believe the person with the most delegates should win the nomination. And really, that could spell doom for the Cruz-Kasich alliance in regards to support in a potential general election. While Cruz and Kasich are partnering to deny Trump the Republican nomination, the act itself might deny Republicans the White House if voters believe the system is indeed rigged. A former 2016 GOP hopeful possibly summed up the situation best as Mike Huckabee took to Twitter to discuss the real opponent of Republican presidential candidates, Hillary Clinton, and wondered why the GOP is still focused on beating itself instead of the competition. Cameron Kramer, One America News.